Hey guys, we got Jake Press here, owner of Press Purpose AI, and he runs a AI agency. Broadly speaking, we'll get a little bit more into the nuance of it. But Jake, you started 6 months ago-ish, and
Yeah.
you have some experience in the online space, it seems, and you're pretty
Mhm.
expertised, but
Mhm.
you started about 6 months ago, maybe even a little bit less, maybe I'll let you get into that. And
Mhm.
you're crushing it now, so and starting to pick up some momentum. And I'll let you introduce yourself and maybe give some quick background on how you got into the space.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey guys, I'm Jake Press with Press Purpose AI. Um, we actually have started over a year ago, but prior to that, I ran an agency, web and mobile development agency, working with a lot of very exciting brands for over a decade and a half. So, a lot of experience working in the digital space. Technology is a real passion of mine. And then we took a pause there for a moment. Here was doing a lot of consulting, and then as AI really started ramping up and really starting becoming what it is, I really just saw this is the opportunity that I absolutely cannot miss. This is the one. This If there's going to be the opportunities, it's going to be there's a great opportunities that come and go, but this is the one that's the future. This is the new internet. And when I realized that, I couldn't sleep. It was like I just have to try to figure it out. And so I did a lot of things to try to figure things out. And we were getting clients and things were growing. But I really just didn't want to be this ad hoc agency, really just kind of reselling services or any of that sort of thing. I don't want to be an affiliate. I don't want to be any of that stuff. I wanted to develop my own products. I wanted to create my own stuff. I wanted to develop my own brand, my own IP. And so part of that was really figuring out, how do I do it? What do I do? What tools do I use? What do I do? How do I do it? What's the vision? What am I trying to do? And it was just a lot of trial and error to get here, right? It was a lot of just going and grinding and doing the work. Now, we really a hit a point in our business last year where things were just, there was kind of stagnancy, and we're like, we need new leads, we need new opportunities. We just like I need to. I've been developing this brand for Press Purpose AI, and we just need someone that can give us a power up, and that's how we came across you, right? We came across you and your team, and as you guys were developing your Empire program, we really were looking for a partner, someone that we can work with that can help us to give us that boost, give us that, help us to generate new leads, help us to generate new opportunities. And then we knew we'd had to get to work, right? So for me, when I say we, because now I have a team, it really was about like getting to work and doing the stuff, doing the job. And so, a lot of people say, how did you do it? And the answer is, you just do it. You
Yeah.
just you make the calls, you follow up with everybody, you treat everybody as a golden opportunity. And you don't think about yourself in the sense of like, what can I get out of it? You think about, how can I serve the person that I'm talking to and be as personable and intentional with the person I'm talking to show them exactly how I can help them. And if I can't help them, then don't tell them I can help them. But if I can help them, show them exactly how I can help them, and then, focus on getting that deal. And we just did that one at a time, at a time.
Sweet. Yeah, the only thing that's doing the work is doing the work. I'll throw two quick questions at you.
Yeah.
You you again, first of all, you did some agency like stuff, but not so much in the AI space. So when you started about 6 months ago, we'll call it,
Yep.
you started from zero. You didn't have the client base. You were in a new niche, and that's correct. I'll not let you answer that. And then also, like, what does that look like? What does doing the work actually look like? For someone starting out who is under $3,000 a month in revenue, what does that work look like?
Yeah, gosh. Yeah, no, thank you for that. So starting off, we did have some clients, but starting out at, so really we weren't starting at zero, but we did have some clients. But to your point, it still is kind of starting at zero, because you're like, how do I grow and scale this thing so I can support, working with, various different small businesses at a monthly recurring scale, right? So that's what that's obviously the goal. To get to that point, what does it actually look like? It looks like this. One, and I know this is not to sound generic for anybody that's listening to this, but it's very, very true. Your mindset. You have to have the belief and the mindset that you're there for a purpose. And the reason why we're Press Purpose AI is we're not AI for AI's sake. We're AI with purpose, right? And that's what we teach. That's what we teach our team. That's what they communicate. That's what we tell every single business, and they get it. That we're not here just to sell AI. We're here so that you get your time back, right? We're here so that you book more appointments, your business grows, you increase your visibility, your brand impact, you can focus on your customers, and we can focus on the AI side of things and partner with you to do that. And so we really talk to them about being their partner versus selling a service or selling some software. I've been in software, we developed softwares in the past. And I wasn't looking just to be a software product. I want to be a service product that actually partners with them so that we're long term, and they're not looking at us and saying, "Oh, you're just a software, so we're going to just look at the next software down the road that's cheaper or has another feature that you don't have." Well, no, the features that they don't have is us, right? Is me as an individual and my other team members. And so that's the unique, like, personal IP that we really like to communicate. And doing the work is this. It is showing up every single day. And the more consistent you are, the better you're going to be. Like, truly, like, the more you get on the calls, at first, when you're trying to get on the calls and talk to customers, it might feel a little, or talk to potential customers, it might feel a little abnormal because you feel like, oh, I'm just coming across salesy or this and that. Just listen to them, ask them what their pain points are, listen and learn, because they'll tell you everything about their business if you just listen. That's it. And then once they tell you, then you bring it back and you say, how can I help them? And then you already know how you can help them based on what they're saying. And you just do it. And the more you do it, the more repetition then it just becomes like, I'm selling plans. We have, and also systems. You have to develop, the second thing is you have to develop systems. Systems are like, how are you selling from somebody from A to Z? What does that look like? From the sales to the onboarding to the delivery and the execution of the product that you promised them. That has to be consistent across the board. But there's a nuance there. It's not just the consistency, because every business is different. Even in the same industry, where they're all bio-individual, they're different. So they may want a little bit different things, or they have a little bit of a different service, or the way they do their brand messaging. That all has to be communicated into the AI receptionist or AI employee or what have you, to make sure that they're getting the output that is the quality that they believe that they should be paying for. And that's what's going to keep them as a customer long term. It's not just about building something quick and then getting it to them and checking that box. It has to be about delivering the quality that you promised them when they bought the product. And that's the thing that takes a lot of the work after the sale.
Yeah, churn's huge in this space, right? It's huge. People get on a sales call, they speak to a good sales rep, and then they get buyer's remorse or second thoughts immediately after. In my opinion, preventing churn is, first of all, exceeding the expectations that were set on the sales call, getting them immediately getting them immediately activated. Like, activation is key. The biggest reason why people churn is because they don't get activated. They don't get set up quick enough. And number three is building a relationship with them. And I think you're doing great with all three of those. So when you started, I want to say your first client, you got them, it was more so in person, more so local. And yeah, right. And the last client you just got maybe yesterday or the day before was in Hawaii. Explain that delta. How do you go from in-person, you're in Florida. How do you go from in-person meetings, et cetera, to then landing a client in Hawaii? How does that work? And how did you progress to branching out internationally, you could say?
We have now businesses all over the United States now. So across the board, and we work with, some of our clients are even award-winning, very well-known clients in their particular space. And so it really comes down to, being able to generate the leads, that like being open to wherever businesses are interested in what it is that you're offering, and just really like widen the net. We don't have to have just a small net in a local city. Widen the net, expand it out, see what's possible. I don't even have to go into specific. Some people say niche, I say niche, particular market, and say we only serve plumbers. We have plumbers, surgeons, mortgage lenders. We have lawn care companies, auto mechanic companies, healthcare providers. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. I mean, it's across the board, and that's what's so interesting to me is that's how we did it, rather than just individually, like the relationships or network or conversation or connections that I had to really like start growing the business. It was about widening that net and saying we will talk to all kinds of industries and show them what we can do for their industry. And the more we do it, like then it's like, yeah, we already work with a plumber, or yes, we already work with lawn care companies, or yes, we do this. And now we can speak into their space, and we can speak as their, like, we understand who their customer is. So it becomes easier and easier to sell every single customer that we work with.
Yeah. Would you say for someone starting out, would you say pick a specific niche right off the bat, or would you say go broad like you're now going?
I would say off the bat, I would personally, I would say expand to being open to working with different businesses of different industries. And the reason why is because you may find that you like working with a particular industry more than another one, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't try it.
Yeah.
And by saying yes and opening yourself up, you're going to learn. You may say, I'm trying to get another deal in this particular industry, when there's other industries that are looking for you right now. And the reason why, obviously, I'm on this call, and thank you, Connor, and thanks for being a great partner of ours for sure. I mean, a million times, thank you for that. I just want to say that there is so much opportunity, guys. There's I mean, hundreds of millions of businesses that need this. We all can only take a fraction of the market. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And, yes, there are people that are online that say, build this with Claude Code, or build this with this, or, all these different tools. And they're just creating these, quick little ad hoc stuff. But you can build real products and build real IP. And if you really dive in and really dig in and create a brand around yourself and create a brand, like a future brand, you've really got something over what other people are just, doing or reselling.
Sweet. And yeah, I appreciate everything you said. How'd you get your first client? How did you get that first client?
That was networking and relationship. That was just, again, just being passionate about what you do, and people get excited when you're excited, and you tell people what you're doing and you show people what you're doing. Some relationships that you have are going to say, show me more, tell me more. I mean, if you've got it, you have a net, everybody has some kind of network or connections or contacts, local businesses that you know of that can absolutely help, that need your service. They're right down the street.
Did you go into a store?
I went into a local business networking group. So there are various different local business networking groups. And if you show up there, you're probably going to be the only one that does that actually has like an AI agency. But there are going to be a lot of real estate agents in there, and plumbers, and a lot of like different people, that insurance sales, a lot of things that do a lot of the same type of thing. But you're either going to be one or maybe the second, but probably the first AI agency. And here's what I also have learned about businesses, and this is what we understand this. Businesses, they know about AI, they know it's where they're going, but they don't want to sit here and learn it themselves. And we encourage them. That's correct. You have an industry, you're an expertise on this, and that's your expertise. Our expertise is AI, and guess what? It's evolving so fast. What was current a month ago, I mean, every single week is new, something is new. So we're not only would you have to stay on top of it, we're staying on top of it, right? And it's our industry, and we're still having to stay on top of it, and it's growing at a compounding rates. So for us, it's important to make sure that we are the most knowledgeable, we're the most prepared and equipped to be able to serve them so they can focus on their business and we can make sure that their business is growing and they're getting that return on investment. But
Sweet.
yeah.
When you started out, you were solo for the most part,
Yep.
and you were
That's
yeah,
right.
you're running the show. So you're working on the, and you're sure you had a little bit of help from us, but you're doing a
Oh
lot.
yeah. hmm
You're doing the cold calls if you're doing that. You're doing all the
Yep.
outreach. You're setting the calls. You're doing the sales. You're doing the fulfillment. And by the way, for people who don't know, Jake, I remember when I first spoke to you, which was good for you because you could bypass the tech. You had some good expertise with fulfillment, which was good, and
Yeah.
that made that part a little bit easier. You didn't need to outsource that or find someone, another partner to do that with. But
Right.
you were doing it all, and
Oh.
and explain that process a little bit, and where you are now, and if you still have your hands on almost every little pot that exists in a business, or if you've been able to start delegating some stuff. Explain how that looks. 0 to 6 months in.
Beautiful. Yeah. So zero, you are doing it all. You're wearing every single hat, right? And that's true because you want to understand the intricacies of your business. Because if you don't understand it, you can't really delegate it because you don't know what you need. So really, it's about getting in there. You're doing the cold calling, you're doing the sales, but you're also doing the branding. But you also want to make sure that your branding and your messaging is right. You need to do your social media because you've got to market yourself out there. But then you also have to make sure you're generating enough leads or appointments, and then you have to close the sales, and then you have to do the fulfillment. And it feels like a million jobs, and because it is a lot of jobs. But once you start to do that process, start to document that entire process. So what I was doing early on is I was documenting everything I was doing and trying to figure out what am I doing that's repetitive that I can automate? What am I doing that I can create a system around? And I'm big on systems. And so I started developing my own back-end system that would take me from how can I generate the lead to how do I sell the lead through a presentation that would take them all the way through the entire story. I'm big on stories. People buy stories, they don't buy features, right? They buy outcomes, they buy stories and they buy outcomes. Stories are just how we communicate and talk. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I was here and now I'm here. It's the transformation aspect of it. Outcomes are really the pain points. It's you're dealing with this and you're buying the solution to get out of pain here, right? And so being able to tell that story through a presentation and a system was very, very important to me early on. Once I developed it, and then I started and then once I developed it, and then we started getting sales, I started making some tweaks to it and figuring out what else do I need to do. Would find myself in these conversations. This is why it's important when we're talking to different businesses. I would ask questions and learn what some of the additional pain points are that other businesses were having and things I was saying. I was like, oh, that's really resonated with that business, but it resonated with other businesses too. Let's bring that and let's put that back into the presentation. So then I would take it and I'd put it back in the presentation. And then what I started finding is they would ask questions and then I would answer those questions. Those questions would be some of the same questions that others would ask. So then I started answering the questions before they were even asking the questions. And that's the concept of essentially it's like being in their head, right? It's like I'm now answering your questions before you're asking them. So I'm checking off the boxes subconsciously so we can move through the presentation and everything just feels like a natural story of progression on the way to the outcome, which is transformation. As that started working, as that started happening, more and more sales are coming down the way. Obviously, Agency Volt's was tremendous in helping us to generate the leads. But we had to make sure that we were on it for bookings and fulfillment, for bookings and like showing up no matter what. Even if they didn't show up, we would always show up, right? And that's the key. And if sometimes they forget to show up, but that means just pick up the phone and you call them, whatever. If they don't show up on Zoom, you call them on the phone. If they can't make the Zoom call, you don't make them go back on the Zoom call. You take that phone call right there and you run the demo right there from the phone. Because it's their time is money and your time is money. And so I've closed deals directly over the phone, just straight up over the phone, run a demo just as if I was talking to them face to face. and go through the whole experience. And when that story started working, then I was fortunate to be able to bring on another team member who is also helping me in sales and heading up sales. And we have another two additional sales reps that we now have as well. We have a team. We have a team of four sales guys, me included, right? That are really taking the appointments, and they're using the same story. They're using the same points. They're using the same systems. And by implementing those systems, now everybody, I know from a brand standpoint, everybody's getting that same experience. And so that's where it comes into training and execution.
Yeah, right. That's the key with doing it all yourself. You have to build those SOPs, standard operating
100%.
procedures for all the people you're gonna eventually onboard. Sweet. How are you getting your clients now? Like, how are you getting your clients? Or even I could ask you, we could extrapolate a bit. How do you see, where do you see you getting your next 10 clients from? What pool, what avenue through, and I guess we could call it outreach. So that, top of funnel, where are those leads coming from? Are you still going into stores, ads, cold calling, referrals? What's that look like?
Ads has been a huge increase for our business. Ads has been, and being able to qualify those leads ahead of time. Early on, we were talking to people that they really weren't qualified to work with us. They were excited about working with us, but it wasn't just a good fit. And we want to make sure that we're working with the right businesses that are going to be a good fit for us long term, because we're not looking to churn. I mean, our attrition rate is huge, right? I mean, we've got our customers are sticking around. They're loving us, and we're also but we're also, and it's not the secrets. I mean, it's the secret to us, but it's the secret I'll share is basically we go above and beyond. And I know you've heard that term, above and beyond, but we do. We will do the things that others won't do. And because of that, that's what they get. We will do extra things for them. We will make sure that just not only just on the execution side of it, but if they're needing some additional support, or if they have a question, like a consulting question about how do I do this, or what are some thoughts on this, like we want them to feel like we are their tech partner, and that's important to us on the long term. So top of the funnel is ads for sure. Additionally, we are cold calling.
And not to interrupt, that's where you got the client in Hawaii ads.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Keep going.
Yep. Client in Hawaii ads. California and Indiana and Missouri and Florida and Georgia and whatever. Like we've got them all over the place.
And what was that client in Hawaii? I'm sure people are curious. How much do they pay you, and what were they paying you for?
So entertainment, they're an entertainment business. So for weddings, they basically run an entertainment venue party service for weddings and other types of special events. And they get it's a real, like, that's a real demand business for them, and they book up. So they want to make sure that they can get those bookings in place. And for party venues in Hawaii, if you're one of them, then you don't want to have someone not be able to get a hold of you, and then they have to call another party venue because they need to get that booked, because that's on their checklist. Like, we've got to find a venue. We've got to find this entertainment company that can help us do this. So that's what we do. When it comes to pricing, we don't publish our pricing, but our pricing is valued at the value of this it's the value of the service that we offer. We're not looking to go cheap, right? So we don't price our products from a competitive standpoint as to, like, we don't compare ourselves to software. We compare ourselves to staffing. We are building AI employees that, with our virtual HR, that will be your new employee for your business, with working with your other employees. And so that's part of the story that we tell. But if someone's looking for, cheaper, or I see all this price over this, listen, absolutely. There are other services out there that you can get that are cheaper per se, but that's not what we do. You're going to also get what you pay for, right? And so if you're looking for just kind of cheap solutions, we price ours at X dollars. We quote it by the day. So we say ours is by the day. And then we run the math and we say that's by the day, not by the hour, right? And so when we show that comparison, they go, wait, that's by the day? And yes, for the fraction of a cost of a virtual assistant, right? We charge this, and we do that for as a way to because our goal is to make sure that you've got someone in place that can help you grow your business and have that efficiency and have that scale. And they get it. And I said, but listen, we don't compare ourselves to software. We compare ourselves to, human resources to staffing.
Cool. What would you do if you had to restart today, but you had all the knowledge you have now? What would you do? What would the next 30 days look like?
Gosh, that's a really great question, Connor. And to be candid, like you, it's like, what would I do now? I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing that I did because it worked, right? I mean, we've grown 1,000% in the last 45 days, we've grown 1,000%. So like to see the trajectory of where our numbers are, I mean, I already know where we're going to be in 11 to 12 months from now. We're going to be in seven figures. That's where we're going to be.
Seven figures annually or monthly?
Seven figures.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm not reading off a list or anything. I'm just sort of, whatever's.
No, yes and no. I got it. Understand.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So are you selling, again, a lot of people on my channel, they're ripping the AI receptionist, or at least they like the idea of that. And that's what they're following me for. What are you, and it seems like with that company in Hawaii, seems like there was an AI receptionist plugged in there.
Yep.
Do you find these AI receptionists and maybe some other things, like, again, I talk about web design, AI receptionist, maybe some Google review stuff. I talk about that on the channel. Is that becoming a little bit obsolete and archaic? Would you be moving towards more AI agents like the staffing you're now doing? Because that's completely, I mean, you could say like an AI receptionist is considered staffing.
It is.
Okay. But when you say staffing, are you plugging in some separate agent that is fulfilling some level of autonomy throughout other places in the business? And then
yes.
To give you a question to give you something to really answer, would you, again, telling someone who's starting out or early, would you tell them, hey, just stick with the AI receptionist, don't get into the agent stuff yet? Or would you say jump into, do whatever's working, but like you should be looking at more agents and autonomizing more substantial things throughout a business?
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. So I think I've got a few points there. One, I would say this: we'll be on demos with businesses that will say, "I've heard 7 of these, and yours sounds amazing," right? And the reason why is because the way that we build it out, we're so meticulous the way we build things out and that we train. Everything's done with intention so that when we can demo it for different businesses, the conversation is so fluent, right? And so for those that are interested in doing AI receptionist, here's my biggest advice is don't create something generic. Spend time in your prompting, spend time with how you model to create the right dialogue for your AI receptionist that can work and demonstrate for other businesses. And when you demo with other businesses, don't demo something generic. Really speak to their business. They want to understand that it knows, John Smith Plumbing, and let her speak about John Smith Plumbing so they can hear it, because that's how they're going to, in their mind, visualize how is this going to actually work for my business. And if it's something generic, then it's not going to connect emotionally. It's not going to connect from because they're already thinking in their head, not necessarily who they're going to replace, but they're already thinking in their head who's either not working out or who they need to fill in that position, right? And they're talking to you for a reason because they're obviously interested in it. There's a pain point there. And they just need to see, are you the person that's going to fill that pain, right? Are you the one that's going to be able to give them that solution? And so make sure you're spending the intention and the time to not create something generic so that the businesses are not just wowed through the demo, but wowed when they actually get the product and it matches, right? So that would be, I think that would be the first thing. The second thing is when it comes to, do they focus on just receptionists versus agents? Stay curious, stay exploratory, know how to use the tools so you don't get left behind on the tools. But don't be overwhelmed with all of the tools. Okay. So it's good to know how to use it's good to know how to use the tools, but don't be obsessed. If you get so obsessed about learning all the tools, then all you're doing is you're not making any money because you're just learning tools. So pick what's actually working pick something that, like example, the receptionist, make it not generic, make it intentionally, accurate for different businesses. Make sure you can deliver on that, and then use that and go make money on it, and then build from there. Once you're making money on it, then you can always add, okay, well, how can I add additional workflow automation? Or what are some of the things that this industry is really looking for that would be very helpful? And then you start adding those things to it while still selling the thing you're doing. But if you just take a pause and only just sit and go and learn, then you're just going to be you'll be like a broke student, right? You're really, really great at what you do, but no one really knows about it because you're not selling it. So sometimes it can be easier to just build. Trust me, I understand. Than get on the phone and sell, but you have to do both. And once you do both, just like the build muscle becomes stronger, the sale muscle becomes stronger, the story muscle becomes stronger. And then you can, businesses are loving it. You're feeling so comfortable and confident. You can take a phone call from anywhere at any time, tell the same story, do the same thing, and deliver the product for businesses. So, yeah.
You're running ads. You said that's your main avenue
Yeah.
for marketing.
Mhm.
What are you profiting on a month one ROAS? At this, again, you clearly hit an exponential rate about 45 days ago where you said you've scaled
Yeah.
1,000%. Do
Yeah.
you guys have because, and again, just so the viewers understand,
Yeah.
if you're e-commerce and you're selling
Yeah.
physical products, something like that, it's not MRR or subscription based.
Yeah.
You need to have a positive ROAS. If you're spending 1,000 on
Yeah.
ads, you need to make at least 1,000 back. Otherwise, you're not profitable. You really want to be in that 2 to 3, depending on your scale. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
the agency model, because if you're spending $100,000 a month on ads and you're making back even $50,000 a month in revenue,
Yeah.
it's like that's
Yeah.
recurring. So if you do that over the course of a year, right,
It compounds.
it's gonna compound, and yeah, at a
Yeah.
certain point you'll be spending that 100 grand, but you'll be stacking that 50 every month. You'll be at $500,000 to $1 million a month. So you
Mhm.
guys get the point. Are you? But you still should strive for a positive ROAS month one. And again, of course, there's diminishing returns as you do scale. But
Yeah.
what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Yeah. So we're around 3. Like we're between 3 and 4.
Month one or
Uh,
LTV?
uh, um, LTV currently,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that's between 3 and 4.
Right.
Hmm.
Sweet.
Hmm.
Gotcha. And you plan on just scaling up, like you said, you want to be 7 figures,
Yeah.
which would assume you're doing over 100 grand a month in revenue.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you're going to scale up the ads?
Absolutely. Yeah. But in order to scale up the ads, we needed to make sure we had more sales support.
Right.
And we had to have obviously the sales support, the product execution, delivery, customer service managers, et cetera. Like we wanted to make, like, the more the business is growing, the more we needed to make sure we had the fulfillment in place to be able to support it. And so that's what we've been doing and building as we're growing and we're adding and we're growing and we're adding. So yeah.
Okay. And then what would you, not even so much philosophically, but like very
Mhm.
tangible advice? What would, if you can dig something out over the last 6 months, do you have any very tangible advice for someone watching who either just started or is, I'm not even going to say is thinking about starting, because then there's an obvious answer, like just jump in.
Mhm.
Like they're starting and they're struggling. let's say they're struggling to get that first client, but they're in it. They started their business. They're taking it seriously, but they're struggling. What would you give to them? Like what switch can they flip? What pivot can
Yeah.
they make that might trick something to get the sort of conveyor belt going and flowing?
Yeah, no, it's an excellent question. I think for a lot of people, um, you have to quiet the noise. Number one, it is if you go on YouTube, it's just YouTube, social media. There's a lot of great content. Your content's great, Connor, and there's a lot of great content. But I can watch. We can watch videos of you, and then there's somebody else, and everybody's screaming. A lot of people are just screaming about do this, don't do that. This is the tool you use. Stop using that tool. I mean, it can be so overwhelming. You just kind of have to say, you have to like close the window. Think of it like it's New York City and it's really, really noisy. You got to close the window and you got to just sit there in silence and say, okay, what do I have to do? Right? Because you will overwhelm yourself quicker than you can imagine if you just constantly taking in information. You're at the point, whoever's listening to this right now, and I'll speak to you. If you've watched 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours of content on social media about agents and receptionists and AI employees and AI receptionists and AI business, AI automation, you already know enough to have a conversation with a business owner who just started ChatGPT, no joke, 2 weeks ago, right? They're just learning it. Yet what seems to be so obvious to you, and you're like, oh man, I'm not the expert of it. But what seems to be so obvious to you, and you think you're not the expert of, you are the expert to the business down the street who has no idea what you know. And so the biggest thing that is the most discouraging thing is when we compare ourselves to other people. And it's what stops us, it's what stops productivity, it's what stops traction. We're not going to be able to get to our goals when we compare ourselves to others because they're always moving and we're either always moving or we're here. We're either here or we're moving, but but life's moving around you, right? Time's moving, industry is moving, things are evolving. What becomes, what's easy to do now is, or this company just popped up 2 weeks from now. It's a whole nother company that no one's ever heard of, and now it's the thing. So it's really important that you focus on what it is that you know that can help you that can basically help you to move forward so that you're not, comparing yourself to other people, but you are taking what you know and you're just building it from there. And you have to use that muscle. So you have to make the calls. You have to show up for the appointments. If you have 20 appointments and 10 no-shows, don't think the other 10 appointments are going to be no-shows. They're not. You might have 3 of them that sell, but you're like, I don't really not feeling it. I don't think I want to show up. I think I might just reschedule. Don't show up because you never know who's going to close. You never know what that next opportunity is. And when they're happy, they're going to tell other people about it. So you're starting to build yourself a network of businesses that will believe in you. And then from a referral standpoint, or even just as a confidence standpoint, you can start talking to other businesses because you're now serving real businesses, which is so much better than just building stuff for yourself.
Sweet. All right. Well, I think we'll cut it there. I think we got enough out of you, but
Yeah.
I will ask you. So you want to be a year from now? This is for you. This is to keep you accountable. This
Yeah.
isn't for anyone else. Where do you want to be 1 year from now? And we'll talk in a year from now, and we'll see where you are.
A year from now, okay, great. I love this question. So a year from now, my business will be 7 figures ARR. We will have a a growing team of sales reps. We will have our own proprietary, we'll continue to build on our own proprietary products that we've developed our own IP for our own platform, products, AI, our AI marketer, which is at b2cstudio.com. And we'll continue growing those products. We will be looking into, we will already have some work done in physical AI.
Cool. All
Yeah,
right. And you got a YouTube channel. So why
I
don't you go
do.
ahead and plug it?
Thanks. It's a growing YouTube channel. I just have to get it growing. I know we talk about it, and you're doing so great. I just have to get around to doing it. So yeah, thank you. It's Jake Press. Yeah.
Jake Press. All right. Jake Press at Press Purpose AI, everyone. Thanks for joining us, Jake.
Thank you.